Alexa, stop. Good morning, everyone. You're here for another lockdown lesson, a big one today, multiplication. A lot of you have been asking for a division lesson, and that will come in 2 weeks' time, but this is a really important lesson to sort out first, because multiplication and division are opposites, and you need one to understand the other. So we're going to start with a challenge at the beginning, and this is a very special challenge because I'm actually going to give £1 to the winner. I will post £1 to anyone who can solve this puzzle. Now hopefully you've got your printouts. It doesn't matter if you haven't, you can draw this down or you can just look at the image on the screen, but this is the first challenge. Okay, I've got there a regular pentagon, and all you need to do is you need to count for me every single triangle you can make inside that pentagon. So there's some drawn for you already. Think about combining triangles together. I've given you 2 clues there. Clue number 1, the answer is not 10. Clue number 2, think about the symmetry of the image to help decide if your answer could be correct. That is a really important clue. Sit down here and get away from the camera. Okay, so what we're looking at is all the triangles in that image. Okay, you can post your answers on the chat. If you change your mind, that's fine. I'm going to take the last answer from each person. Whoever gets the correct answer first and sticks with that answer will win £1, and I will post that £1 to you. Okay, so we are giving away some prizes this time. Can you get the answer correct? If you think about those clues, this is much easier, this challenge. If you ignore those clues, it's not going to work so well for you. Okay, while you're doing that, I'll try and give some shout outs to you. Great to have you all here.
Which one is the same one? Which one is the same one?
They're all the same, you can just practice on the different ones.
Okay.
So you want to count all the triangles. So obviously there's one there, that's one. Think about putting triangles together to make new triangles. Okay, there are loads of triangles in the images. How many can you get? I'm going to take your last answer, so if you change your mind, that is fine. It's fine to be wrong the first time in maths. If you check your answer and think, oh, there's something else I can change, that's what it's all about. It's about improving and not being afraid to make mistakes.
Bye.
See you later.
Listen out for the math.
Daddy, are you allowed to cut stuff to make a triangle?
No, you can't cut triangles in half. You can only use the lines that are there. Okay, so you couldn't do that. You can only use the lines that are there. But you can put 2 triangles together or 2 shapes together to make different triangles.
Back. Okay. Daddy, when you make a new triangle, Daddy, when you make a new triangle, can you the number will cross over to the end so it represents both together?
Yep. Okay, we've got some answers here. Loads of answers. Hi Albie, good to have you here. Hi Fraser and Finn, great to have you back again.
Hey.
Callum says 21, a lot of triangles there, brilliant. Jaden, 21 as well. Think about the symmetry of a pentagon. Okay? Think about the symmetry of a pentagon. There's a triangle there. There's one little triangle. How many triangles like that are there in this shape and why?
I've got a feeling that it's going to be a multiple of 5 if it has 5 sides.
Okay. Theo, my boy, has just given a very good tip. He's got a feeling it's going to be a multiple of 5. Maybe that's right, maybe it's not.
There's just so many triangles.
Morning, Layla from Scotland again.
12.
I think, is it Abby, Debbie Finley, never miss a lesson, fantastic.
Daddy, can you Daddy, can you like...
This is not a guessing game either. There is a very logical, mathematical way to do it. Think about multiplication and everything. That's what the lesson's about. It all ties together.
Danny, just to let you know, will it like be if you have a triangle and you can make another triangle, you just need to go to a triangle that you've already used. Is
That's
that
fine,
okay?
yeah. You can overlap the triangles. Okay, loads of different answers. Morning, Megan, first lesson. If any of you have missed any of the previous lessons, they're all there. They're all there. You can still play along, you can still play the game. Obviously, you can't win bingo, which everyone loves at the end, but everything still works just fine. Hello, Ethan again. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds more to get your answers in for this, to guess your answers. Loads of answers already. Make sure you're giving your name as well, if it's your parents' Facebook account, as it should be for most of you, depending on your age. Make sure you give your name with your answer as well. You can colour the triangles if you want. Yep, the sheets are for you to work out. It's just for you to work at home. Okay, and I'm going to stop your answers. You've got 5 seconds to post an answer now, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Have you got an answer there? What do you reckon?
I think 20.
Okay, very nice. Okay, right. Okay, so no more answers on the board. We are going to go through this now to see your answers. Now, I said it was about the symmetry, because this has line symmetry and rotational symmetry. Rotational symmetry, if you rotate this round a bit, if you rotate it round just a fifth of the way, it's going to look exactly the same. And another fifth, and another fifth. It keeps looking the same every time you turn it round, which is why there's one triangle there, there's going to be 5 of those triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 of that triangle. Let's look at this triangle here. We've got a triangle there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those triangles. So the tip given at the beginning, it is going to be a multiple of 5 for your answer. So let's have a look at the triangles there are. Okay, there's a little one at the top there. There's the one at the side. There's one all the way across there. There's one all the way down. That one kind of deflected down there. You've got those two together there, and this big one
Danny, but
there.
That's a triangle because it's going out of the line on the top one.
No, that's definitely a triangle. So those are all the triangles there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 5 rotational symmetries of each one. So it's going to be 7 times 5, which is 35 triangles. Absolutely brilliant. People have got it right. And I think the first person to get that right was Aurora. Got that for 35, which is absolutely fantastic. You know what, I'm going to post a few more pounds out, why not? Rena was second as well, I'm not sure who that is. And we'll go for one more. The next 35 on my list is William as well. So you've all won £1. It's not bad for coming to a maths lesson, isn't it? All won £1 for that. If your parents can message Help Your Kids Maths your address, I'll post it £1 and I'll even throw in a certificate in there as well. But brilliant work, okay? So you can see from that, it looked like a random challenge at first, but when you thought about multiplying and symmetry of the shape, it's actually not that difficult to get close to that answer at least. But the key was multiples of 5. Okay, right, brilliant. So we are going to look at multiplying today. This is going to be quite a tough lesson depending what year you're in. At some point we're going to look at long multiplication, which is really tough, but I'm going to give you some extra questions. If you want to practice on the slightly easier ones, you can do that while we look at long multiplication, and then we'll all come together for a massive game of bingo at the end, which has got the power animal rule in now as well. So first we need to look at what is multiplication. And I'm sure you all know this, but I want to give a recap of what it actually is, because this will make sense when we're looking at partitioning for the harder ones. So 4 times 7, okay, it means 4 lots of 7. So if you've got 7 of something, we want 4 of them. So the best way I always show it is with kind of jottings or dots. So 4 sevens is quite simply all those dots added up together. Okay, now the only way to work that out is really by just counting the dots, which isn't even 21, is it? Good start.
28.
3 of them to start with. Okay, the only way to count that is to count them. Okay, but that takes ages, so this is why you need to learn your times tables. I'm sure your teachers and your parents are on you. Can you learn your times tables? It is so useful. So you just know 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, learn them as soon as you can. Just do them in your own time. Though, you know, you don't want to stress yourself out about it. But the better you can learn these, the easier you'll find all this. So 4 sevens is something like that. Okay. Notice as well, other way around, same answer. 4 times 7 is the same as 7 times 4. So if you don't like your 7 times tables, you can use your 4 times tables to get to the same answer.
28.
Really important, it goes both ways.
It's 28.
I did 3 at first.
Why did it say 20?
Because I did 3 at first and I changed my mind. Okay, so we've got your 4s there and your 7s are linked together. Okay, so 6 times 24. Now, you don't need to know your 24 times tables. We need to think about this slightly differently. So we're going to split up our numbers. So 6 times 24 is the same as doing this in jottings, which I know some of you have used before. Those are your tens, those are your units. So we've got 20 and 4. 6 times 24 is going to look like that. So if we split that up, we've actually got 6 24s there. Okay, so I'll change this over.
So do we just skip it? Why are you changing it, Daddy?
Okay, so 6 times 23, sorry. So I've got 6 23s there. Can you see them all there? A 23, 20 and 3, 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 20 and 3. Now this is easier to add up. Imagine with the dots that would take ages. But we've got our tens and our units. So we can split that further into all of our tens there, okay, and our units there. So it's quicker, isn't it? It's quicker, so we can go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and we can add up our dots, okay? So we got our 3s and our 10s there, and then we get our 120 and our 18 together, which is 138. So that is what is going on. Now that will still take a long time to do, won't it, to write all those dots out. So we need to get a little bit quicker than that, okay? And we need to partition, not by writing all these jottings down. It's great for adding and subtracting. It takes too long for when you're multiplying. It will work, but it takes a while. So if we were going to do something like this, there's our answer, 138. We were going to do 7 times 28. Okay, I'm going to show you how this will work. And I'm going to put this on the board so that you can use it for the next ones. Okay, because I don't want us to be using all this partitioning. So 7 times 28. Okay, so we're going to split this up into our 20 and our 8, because that's what 28 is. And we're going to do 7 times both of those. So we're going to do 7 times 20, and we're going to do 7 times 8. Okay? 7 20s is not too tough, because we're counting in tens. So I know 2 7s is 14, or if I'm counting in tens, I'm going 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. So I know this is 140. 7 times 8 you need to use your times tables for. Or maybe you might do 4 7s and double it. That might be an easier way to get there. But your times table is going to be important. So 7 times 8, you need to know, is 56. And then you can add those two together So 140 add 56 is your final bit, which is going to give us, however you do that, you might use jottings for that, it's up to you. You might be able to do that one in your head, because 50 add 40 is 90, you get 196. So it's this splitting it up into two parts is really important for your multiplying. So it's partitioning, it's splitting the 28 up into a 20 and into an 8. Okay? So I want to have a go at that now, but just as a reminder here, so that's what's happening there, that's what it looks like there, your 10s are, so all your 10s are there, and there your 7 8s are. It makes sense what we're doing, we're just splitting up and we are trying to shortcut there, trying to get there just by timesing the numbers. So I want to have a go at these, but just make sure we can do stuff like this. Okay? 6 times 4, you should know with your times tables, is 24. 6 times 40, we are going to times that by 10. And we should know what to times by 10 from the last lesson we were doing. 24 times 10 is 240. 6 times 400, times it by 10 again, is 2,400. So we can use our timesing by 10 to move up to help with these questions. Okay, that's quite a lot to follow there. So I want us to have a go, spend some real good time on these next questions. Nothing too special at the moment, just timesing those together. So if I would try that one, what is 6 times 34? If that will put a P on the board. Okay, so let's have a go at those, please. So we've got 3 times 27 for your first question. They get real tough on questions 9 and 10. So let's think about splitting it up, like the one on the board there. I've split my 7 times 28 up into 7 times 20 and 7 times 8. And then added them together. Okay, so can we all have a look at that? See if we can find those questions there. Any help you need, get on the chat, please. We've got quite a lot of people here, but we will try our best to keep up with you. This is really, really important. Okay, it's not easy. It's probably one of the harder things we've done in terms of working with your times tables, but it's a great way to test them out as well. Okay, so let's see if you can have a go at that. Okay, Theo, you're going to have a go with those ones? So split the 27 up into 20 and 7 for the first one. Okay, I'll put the start to the first one on the board as well. So the first one here, just how you would set this one out. So it's 3 times 27. You are going to do 3 times 20. And you're going to do 3 times 7. Work both of those two out and then add them together. Okay, so that's how you would do the first one. 3 times 20, 3 times 7. If you have got a different way for multiplying and it works, absolutely fine. Okay, you do not need to do it this way for these ones. I really don't mind, as long as you're getting the correct answer. Right, I desperately need a new hat. I've had this one on for ages. Oh, I haven't worn this one for a while.
Oh, Piggy!
Piggy's back. Right, okay, so let's have a look at those. I've set up the first, and that's question 1. Let's see if we can crack multiplication today. This comes up so much, and you'll see that in a bit with the problem questions involving our bingo winners from last week, that you use multiplication for everything. Okay, does that make sense?
I have no idea how to do that.
Well, look, I'll split it up, so
Yeah.
3 times 20 you can do, can't you?
Yep. 3 times 20 equals 60.
Okay, so you can write that one down.
Yep. I used it by just
Brilliant. And then add them together and you've got your answer.
equals 81.
That's it.
Yep.
Not bad, is it?
I actually just doubled it one time or something.
Yeah, however you are timing these together is up to you. It's where you are in your kind of maths journey. Just work them out how you can. If you need to keep adding numbers together, absolutely fine.
We'll be able to do that one. I need to come up with a better method. That's it.
So split the first one up there, the second using the first one. So split it up first so you can write out what you're multiplying. First stage is to split them up, so partition it, and then work on timesing. Okay, if you know your times tables, brilliant. If you're not so sure, you still got to try and work them out.
120. 15, 20. 200.
Okay, some of you found this really easy and absolutely smashed through this straight away. The first one is 81, seeing lots of 81s there, which is fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to put you up a question which I'm very interested to see if you can do or not. So, superstar question up here.
Double. 0.6 times 9.7.
Okay, that is tough up there. Thinking about the place value lesson as well for what's going on. Do you keep on these ones, yeah? If there is anyone in year 1 or year 2 trying this as well, this is, you know, you don't need to multiply things as tricky as this at the moment. So you're doing brilliantly if you can do this.
Okay, 4 times 32.
Well, lots been finished. Evie, you finished. Well done. Fraser and Finn done as well. Wow, wow. I'm very impressed with how fast you've done these. Remember there's the extra question up there as well. 0.6 times 9.7. Very difficult question, that one. Done this star as well. If you want to post your star answers on here, if you want to post those, I'm happy to check if that's right or not. Yes, and thank you. I do like my hats. I've ordered some more. I'm running out of hats amazingly. Didn't quite realise how many lessons I'll be doing.
Yeah. Daddy, I've got a problem. My rubber's broke.
Come on, just screw that out. It's fine.
Two.
Wow, some brilliant work here. Okay, got 2 slightly different answers for the star question there, 2 slightly different answers. Let's make sure we are not adding them together. The answer's not going to be 10.3. We're not adding them, we are definitely multiplying them. Okay, right. Okay, do not worry if you haven't finished all these. I know we'll work at a slightly different pace. I've got some more practice at this coming up when we go into the long multiplication bit. So you can always get some more practice, and I'll paste those questions on the chat. I'm going to give you the answers for these. Okay, so we've got 81, 270, 128, 390, 301, 602, 396, 536, 936, 2094. As I've said, if you have not finished all these, that does not matter. We've got people from different year groups at different stages, but the ones you've got, if you're getting those right, that's brilliant. If this is the first time you've done multiplication, I would only be expecting to do a few of those questions. If this is the first time you've done this, okay? Even 1 or 2, just to get those right to understand what you're doing, and you can get some more practice in that in a bit. Now, the superstar question. I've got a real big tip for when you are multiplying decimals. My big tip is to not do it. Now I don't mean just ignore the question, but multiplying decimals is too hard. So instead of 6 times 9 instead of 0.6 times 9.7, I would do 6 times 97. Okay? Now 6 times 97, I'm going to have to cheat for an answer here because 6 times 97 is 582. Okay? And now we compare. If we look at this number here, to get from 9.7 to 97, if you tuned in for our lesson a few weeks ago, we've times that by 10. So this one is times by 10. 0.6 to 6 has been times by 10 as well. So to get back from here to here, we've got to divide by 10 twice, or divide by 100, I guess. So if you divide this by 10 once, you get 58.2, divided by 10 again, you get 5.82. There's another great way to check your answer as well, a bit of a cheat. If you check in your question, I've got 2 numbers after the decimal point. Look at my answer. 2 numbers. That's a great way to check with your decimals. Okay? Now, you would not need to do that anywhere in primary school at all. Okay? For anything at all. But understanding it is brilliant because it will help you so much later on. This thing about timing and dividing by 10 is really, really important. It's such an advantage if you can do it. Okay? But great work on those. Right, we're going to go to 3 special questions now about real life problems. You need to work out what to do with the questions, and they all feature the winners from bingo last week. So, question 1, dogs with soul. Evie has a business where she makes shoes for dogs. She has called it Dogs with Soul. It's a bit of a joke there because of soul. Yeah, it's funny. If you're not laughing, you just don't quite understand it, but it's a really funny joke. Thank you, Theo, for the sympathy laugh. A dog talent agency puts in a huge order needing shoes for 38 dogs. How many shoes does she need to make for this order? Okay, let's see if you can work out what to do. How many shoes does she need to make for this order of 38 dogs? Okay. There is nothing wrong with the dogs. The dogs are all regular dogs. How many shoes does she need to make? Okay, off you go. See if you can work that one out.
If a dog has 4 legs, it's going to need 4. So
okay, right there you're working out there. Dogs with soul. Hilarious.
I get it. I really do.
Oh,
because it shows the soul.
Okay, go on, you go. Dogs with soul.
Why did I not get it?
I'm sure they get it, Billy.
Because it still has a soul. 4 times 38.
Brilliant, all those people getting 100% of that. Fantastic work.
Okay, what's 2 38s? 2 38s. 68. And 8. So double 76.
That'll work.
Double 76.
Okay, so we've got 4 legs per dog. 4 legs, 38 dogs, so she's going to have to make 38 times 4, isn't she? So 4 lots of 38 shoes, 4 per dog. So we can split this up, so we can do 4 times 30 and 4 times 8. 4 30s is 120, 4 8s is 32. You then add those together to give you 152 shoes. You may have also realised if you times by 4 you can double it and double it again. There is nothing wrong with taking easy methods like that. Nothing wrong at all. So whichever way you do it, you end up with 152 shoes. Okay, next question. Okay, monkey rescue. The monkey bandit is on a mission to steal the world's monkeys. Secret agent Finn has tracked down his fleet of 62 lorries carrying the monkeys away. In each lorry there are 72 monkeys. Oh, sorry. There's not 62 lorries, that's ridiculous.
Oh,
6 lorries.
oh my God, thank you,
Okay.
Dan. How
So
did
it's been 6 lorries carrying the monkeys away. In each lorry there are 72 monkeys. So 6 lorries with 72 monkeys in each one. Okay. How many monkeys is that all together? How would you work it? How many monkeys is that all together? So use a method. I think for this one you're going to need to use a partitioning method. Really? There's no real shortcut to get there.
Don't I just, yeah, you know, I have no idea how to really do that.
You've done it before. Try again. So write out the question. Write out what you're doing first.
Okay, so 72 times 6. Can I work out 6 times 12? Can I work out 6 times 12?
No, if you 6 times, you want to do 6 times 70, don't you? So
Six.
split the 72 up into 70 and 2. So we've got 70 times 6.
And 2.
So
Okay.
we're going to do 6 times 70 and 6 times 2, are we?
I'll just see it. But mine takes ages. I'll just take 1, 4, 0, 4,
Well, you can do 6 times 2 there, that's easy. What's 2 times 6?
12.
That's
so
12, yeah. And yeah, 6 times 7 is tougher. Well, you know 3 sevens, don't you?
6,
What's 3 sevens?
21.
So what's 6 sevens going to be?
So it's just, so double 21
Yeah,
equals
so
42.
it'll be 420, won't it?
So
That
420,
was 12 you wrote down there.
420,
We'll put them together.
420 and 12 equals 32.
Okay, so let's have a look at. We need to times these lorries together. We've got 6 lots of 72, so it's definitely 6 times 72 is what you're doing. Again, we split the 72 up into 70 and 2. We do 6 times 70 and 6 times 2. 6 70s, well 6 times 7 is 42, so it's 420. 6 times 2 is 12. Add those two together, gives you 432 monkeys. Okay, I believe that Agent Finn has a lot on his hands if he's going to rescue that many monkeys. Okay, so times it again. Right, hardest question, this one's going to make you think. Okay, Lego puzzle. So Ethan builds this wall out of his Lego blocks. Okay, so he builds that wall there. If you were going to build it out of these single blocks here, so one of those blocks there, how many blocks would you need? So if you were going to build this wall out of single blocks like that, okay, if you're going to build it out of those, how many blocks would you need to build the whole wall exactly the same? Okay, real tough problem solving one here. Thanks to Ethan and his Lego here for this one.
But I have no idea. If I can work out how many's on the front, I'll be able to work out how many's on the back.
Yeah, good thinking. You can maybe work out the top row.
Yep, which is 3.
Think of how many single blocks are on there. So 1,
6
2,
times
3, 4.
3. 6 threes.
It's not 6, it's 8 in each one. Good thinking there. Right,
So
good thinking.
8 times 3 equals 24.
Start, well
So
done.
24.
Write that down.
So write down 24.
And then think what you do with the 24. So don't take too long to count and think about what you're doing. Think about how you can shorten this up. There's loads of lovely ways to do this.
So if I have 24, so there's 24 in the top row. But as you can see, there's cuts there. There's cuts.
It's still going to be the same, even if they cut up, it's still going to be the same amount.
Okay, so 8,
So
so 24, 48, 48.
Lovely little bits of working out here. I like your methods. There are different ways to do this. I mean, you could count them all.
So 24, 40. Oh, there's 4 in that one. Must be the same. But there's 4 on there's 4 on the second row. There's 4 on the
They're the
second.
same in each. It's the same. It's still the same amount because it's the same size, isn't it? So it's definitely 24 in each row.
Okay, so
So
40.
now you can do your timesing theorem. So 24 times. How many rows altogether?
4 not including the
You
top.
always include the top one as well.
Okay,
That's
20.
one. So do 24 times 5, and then you're going to get your answer.
5
So use a
times
method
50.
now. Use your method. Oh, you could do that. So you could
Yeah.
you want to.
Counting 5 takes ease. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, 110, 150, 116, 115, 105, 110, 115, 120, 125.
Right, let's have a look at this problem. So, the top row, okay, look how many dots we have on the top row. Well, even better than that, 1 brick is 8. We've got 3 bricks of 8. So the top row, and always organise your work. So top row is 8 times 3, which is 24. So we know we've got 24 bricks on the top row. We've then got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows are all the same size. There's some different bricks in there, but they're all the same size. So we need to do 24 times 5. So let's split it up. So we're going to do 5 times 20 and 5 times 4. 5 20s is 100. 5 4s is 20. Add them together, 120 blocks. You can count up in 5s, but it's still quite easy to make a mistake. So this, once you get used to this method, it's really important to try and use it as much as you can. Okay? Right, so we're going to look at some long multiplication now, which is more difficult to do. So if you want to get some more practice in this, and be honest with yourself, if this is the first time you've done multiplication like this, I want you to practice some more questions like this. I'm just going to put those on the chat now, if I can. That's not right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to put some extra questions on the board, on the chat. I'll write them up here as well, so you've got access to them. So, I want you to have a go at these. 3 times 38, 4 times 52, 5 times 63, 7 times 42, 5 times 37. So, if you think you need some practice at that, please have a go at those questions there. Okay, if this is the first time you multiply like this, you want to be doing those. If you've done this before, you want to be looking at long multiplication with me. Okay, and then we'll all come back together for a game of bingo at the end. So we're just going to spend 10 minutes doing some practice on that with some long multiplication, and then we'll play bingo. Okay, Theo, can you try and use the partition method for those ones there?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. If we can get 3 of those done, fantastic, I'll get you a certificate.
Okay, 3 times 30.
Okay, right, so what if we have bigger numbers? 24 times 37. Okay, much more challenging, much more difficult, but it still works. So I've colour-coded the digits if I split this. So we've got a 20 there and a 4 there, a 30 and a 7 there. So we can do a similar thing. first I'm going to do, I'm going to split my 24 up into a 20 and a 4. So that's partitioning. We do 20 lots of 37 and 4 lots of 37. Okay, we're just splitting up the numbers. So we do 20 times that and 4 times that. So we just partitioned up. We still can't do that because 37 times 20 is stuff and 37 times 4 is stuff as well. So we're going to also split up this number. So we're going to split up our 37 as well. So we're going to do, instead of doing 20 times 37, we're going to do 20 times 30 and 20 times 7. And instead of doing 4 times 37, we're going to do 4 times 30 and 4 times 7. So we're double partitioning, if you like. We're partitioning both numbers. And if you times all those together, you're going to get your answer if you add the parts together. Now that is difficult to keep track of which ones to times. So we use what's called the grid method. And this is brilliant. I was taught a different method when I was at school, and this is so much better than that. I'm hoping you've been taught this at primary school. I hope you have. If you haven't, this is such a good way to do it. So I'm going to show you what I mean here. So if I was doing 24 times 37, okay, I'm going to split up my 24 into 20 and 4 there. I'm going to split up my 37 into 30 and 7, and I'm going to draw a grid like this. Okay, so I've got myself a grid there. Find my different colours. Look at that. Lost some pens. Never mind. I don't think this will work at all. Okay, we'll try it. So I'm then going to multiply all these numbers together. So 20 times 30. Well, I know that 2 times 3 is 6. I'm then going to times it by 10 and times it by 10 again. So I get 600. 4 times 30. Well, 4 times 3 is 12. Times it by 10, 120. 20 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Times it by 10, 140. And 4 times 7 is 28. You then need to add all of those numbers together. Okay? And it's up to you how you do that. You might do some of it in your head. You might use a column method for that. To be honest, if you're doing this, you want to be using a column method. So you do 600, add 140, add 120, add 28. Okay? Add them together. 0, 0, 0 and 8 is 8. 4, 2 and 2 is 8. 6, 1 and 1 is 8. Oh, that's a coincidence. So the answer is 888. So that is the grid method. It's brilliant. Okay? It's just practicing drawing the grid first. And it's such a good way to multiply any numbers together at all. Remember, even with decimals, take the decimals out with a fishing line and then you can add them together afterwards. Okay? Right, so let's have a go at some of those. Remember, please don't feel you need to do those kinds of questions if you're doing these ones here. So let's try this one. I will draw the grid for you for the first one. So I'll draw the grid for the first one for you. So I'm going to split up my 23 into 20 and 3. I'm going to split my 34 up into 30 and 4. And I'm going to times those together. Okay, so have a go at those there. This is long multiplication. This is as hard as you need all the way up to GCSE. So GCSE does not get any more difficult than this because if we did this in real life, we'd use a calculator. This is as hard as it gets in year 6 in your SATs, as hard as it gets at GCSE, unless they put some decimals in there. So if you can do this, you've got a skill that you're going to use for life in maths. Okay, so have a go at those. But please, if you are not ready for this yet, just stick on these questions. Please, don't go to that until you are happy with this. This is the first step to master.
I have the first question.
Which one is it, sorry?
The top one.
3 times 30 is 90. Okay, that's brilliant. Well done, dear. Okay, so let's have a go now. It's just 5 minutes on this, and then we're going to play bingo, alright? See if you can get some of the answers right there. If you want to skip, you don't need to do them in order. If you think, you know what, they're a bit easy, I can go to the harder ones. You can do that if you want to, but just make sure you can do everything that's on that board there. Any problems, please let me know in the chat as well. I can try and explain something a bit better. A lot of people realising here that times tables, if you know your times tables, it's so much faster. Okay, so you will learn them because you don't need to think about it. It makes such a difference. That, you know, that is important to do as well. Right, what's the advantage of this method over column multiplication method? This, for me, first of all, it makes more sense what's going on. So it means you understand the numbers better about what's going on. However, column multiplication is slightly faster. Okay? You are less likely to make a mistake with this, in my experience of being a maths teacher, but the column multiplication is absolutely fine. If you are using that regularly and really quickly without any mistakes at all, fantastic. As long as you can follow this and understand what's happening, that this partitions the numbers, column multiplication is kind of a fast method to get there, but you're more likely to make a mistake. But I always say to my pupils, I'm a high school teacher, I say, whatever you use, if you are getting the correct answers, brilliant. Okay? However, a lot of pupils, well not a lot, but some pupils that use column multiplication, they make mistakes. And they need to practice using this one instead. It's hard to change your mind once you've just done column multiplication. Okay, but I use this method. I think it's less for my brain to think about while I'm doing it. I know there's a bit more to write out, but I definitely use this method because I think about the numbers, and I was taught column multiplication, but I use the grid method now. I just think it's nicer. I like what it does to the numbers. I like what it shows.
Daddy, can you check if my first three are right?
Three are very well there. Brilliant. Well done. Fantastic.
Seven times 42. 7 times 42. 7 times 42. 7 times.
Some people know the times table, some don't. It's one of those things you just need to practice, and some people are better at remembering things than others. You just need to put the effort in, and it's hard when you don't know them, but the earlier you learn, the better. So if you are, whatever year you're in now, if you don't know them, just get practicing. And it's boring practicing your times tables. It is. But you just need to just learn them. Okay? Just try your best, and it will help you later on, so you don't have to think about adding them up. Right. Okay, 1 more minute on these. 1 more minute.
7. 740 is 40. 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240, 280.
Let's try and keep the chat constructed, please, yeah? Okay?
4, 6, 8.
Right, let's have a look at some answers anyway. So the answers for these ones here are 782, 756, 2000, well I'll leave those out, put the answers on the board for you as well. So 3 times 38 is 100 and, you don't have to help me there, 114 was it?
100.
I've got them written down here, so 114 for that one, 208, 315, 294 and 185. So well done, whichever questions you're doing, fantastic. Okay, multiply is one of those skills you need to do, and for some of you it might just be a bit of practice and you realise I'm great at this already. Okay, division will be in a couple of weeks. That is probably the hardest one you need to deal with. Right, so we're going to play bingo. So you need to draw yourself a grid of 9 squares and fill them with the numbers from 1 to 32. Different numbers to each box, please. Numbers from 1 to 32. You then need to pick your power animal. Okay, your power animals. So you can choose a tiger, a monkey, a dog. If your power animal comes up, you can cross off any box you want in your grid. So it's the best one to come out of the bag for you. So choose your animal. Feel free to post the animal emojis on the chat to let you know who you're supporting, Team Tiger, Team Monkey or Team Dog, and then make sure you pick your 9 numbers there. So give you a minute to sort that out and then we'll play some bingo.
Daddy, how are we going to say what type of it is? Are we going to do number ones, times or whatever?
I'm going to mix it up.
So I know
You just need to write 1 to 32 in the boxes.
I'm going to do 32 going down to 1 because if it's number ones, it's number ones.
Yeah, just mix it in. Anyone can come up. So any number can come up. It's all random.
I'm not going to quit.
I'll put you good on the next page.
I'm finished, please.
There you go.
So 32, 10, 20, 1, 11, 23, 30, 9,
Okay, are you all ready for some bingo? Some very important rules as well. Keep writing them down the grid. So once you've got your grids ready, hope you all pick your animals. Let's just see who's on what team here. Very important for the animals. Okay, we got Sunny on Team Tiger.
dog, tiger.
We got Daniel, Team Dog. George, Team Monkey. Very good. Lots of dogs today. Tigers as well.
Fog.
Fog. Someone's on Team Fog.
Who's
What's Team Fog?
Who's team?
Team Fog. I assume you mean dog there. Another tiger, another dog. Another dog there. Lovely, proud dog there. And Team Monkey. Team Monkey. So we
Tiger.
got lots of Team Monkeys there. Okay, so important rules. At home, if we are playing for a full house, you need all 9 squares to win. If you have 2 squares left, you stand up. You're going to say it loud and proud. You go, shaky, shaky! When you have 1 left. Oh, the top banana. He stole the top banana, hasn't he? Find the top banana, Theo.
Okay, yeah,
You stand up and say, top banana! And when you get all 9 boxes, it's a big cry and bingo. We're probably going to take the first 3 winners. Team Dog's looking strong as well now. Team Dog's looking very strong. Okay. We got Matthew on. Is that a dog? Or that's a tiger. That's a tiger. Okay, so here we go. First number. Have you found it, Theo?
Top banana's
Oh,
here.
we found the top banana. We got the top banana. Brilliant.
Top banana's a bit late today.
Okay.
He was busy watching Minions.
Right. Here we go then. I'll drop the first one. Great start. Your first number is 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is your first number for bingo. 2 times 2. 2 times 2. 2 times 2. Next number. It is 29 plus 2. 29 plus 2. 29 plus 2. Okay, next number. 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3. Oh, goodness me, it's a power animal. Who could it be? Who could it be? Roar!
Tiger!
It's a tiger, Team Tiger. Cross off any number you want. Any number on your grid. Team Tiger. Team Tiger is already up there.
Tiger.
What a start. Team Tiger wins.
Tiger.
Okay, next number is double 16. Double 16. Any Team Tigers out there, give me a roar. Roar!
What's double 16? What's double 16? Double 20. Double 20.
Double 16. Double 16
What's
is the
double
next one.
16? What's double 16? I don't know what double 16 is. What's double 16?
Need a new Princess Leia wig here.
Oh, I don't
Definitely a new Princess Leia wig. So we got double 16. Shaky already!
No, it's
Shaky.
You can't have a shaky
Hold on
shake.
a second. You can't have a shaky.
top
I'm
banana!
sorry.
Bingo, top banana!
No. We need all 9. All 9.
What's double 16?
All
Double
9
16?
grids. So take those shakies away. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Is it
9.
32? Is double
Okay.
16 32?
Yeah, double 16 is 32. Next number, 20 add 2. 20 plus 2. 20 plus 2. Remember, we need all 9 for bingo. So if you've got just 2 left, then it's shaky. If you've got just 1 left, it's top banana. Next number, double 12. Double 12. Double 12.
Just 24.
We got double 12. Next number, 5 times 4. 5 times 4. 5 times 4. 5 times 4.
Too much washed out.
Next number, 3 add 5. 3 add 5. 3 add 5.
5.
We got a shaky from Ethan. Shaky from Ethan. Loves winning bingo. Shaky from Ethan. Okay, no, sorry. Shaky is when you get 2 left. Okay, next number is 20 plus 7. 20 plus 7. 20 plus 7. Fraser and Ben. Shaky. What's next? Next number is 7 times 2. 7 times 2. 7 times 2. Seven times 2. A top banana from Ethan. Top banana. He's got the scoring
Bingo!
game.
I found a bingo on here.
1,
Bingo.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, looks like we got a bingo.
Shaky.
Bingo, another shaky, and a top banana, and another bingo. How can that happen already? Okay, looks like another bingo. I'm going to take you, I should extend in your card as well, because I need to check these, because there's so many people. And another bingo. Right, we're going to play one more bingo here. We're going to play one more bingo. We're going to top banana. This is close. Next one. 19 plus 10. 19 plus 10. 19 plus 10.
It was only going up to 32. Because that's 39.
No, it's not. 19 plus 10. 19 plus 10. Next one. Oh, we got a bingo from Ian. We got a bingo and a bingo from Fraser and Ben. Right, we got enough bingos there. Okay? Can all the people that think they got bingo, can you please make sure you message HYKMaths message me with a picture of your bingo card and something you are into with your name, so I can give you a question I can give for these 2 people this week. Okay, so email me your bingo card, I'll check those, and then I'll give you the prize. Okay, great work this week. Okay, multiplication, keep practicing it. Next week we're going to do some stuff to do with, we're going to do a bit of a different lesson, a bit more practical, look at some real life measurements, then we're going to go to division after that. Okay, so keep up the good work and make sure you and your family stay safe. I know the lockdown seems to be released a bit, so look so we can get to the parks and stuff, which is fantastic. So have a great week and a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. It's bingo magic!
4 more yes to win. 4 more yes to win. When will I win bingo again? iPad?
Alright, bye everyone!